Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now, onto the latest news. A warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail, hail. Joe Hart has set the Scottish football world alight with remarks that are certain to reverberate across Parkhead and beyond, claiming that his departure from Celtic was handled in a manner that left him feeling completely undervalued. The former England international, known for his decades-long career guarding the goalposts for clubs across Europe, did not hold back in an explosive statement where he suggested he was discarded like a nobody, a sentiment that has ignited heated debates among fans, pundits, and former teammates. Hart, who joined Celtic with a reputation for being a seasoned and reliable goalkeeper, reportedly felt that the club's management did not provide him the respect or closure that a player of his caliber deserves, particularly one transitioning into retirement. Fans have taken to social media in droves, some expressing outrage at the treatment of a player who contributed to crucial victories, while others speculate on the internal dynamics at Celtic, wondering whether this speaks to a larger pattern of how veterans are managed. Pundits on Scottish sports shows have seized upon Hart's words, debating whether this reflects poor communication or a deeper cultural disconnect within the club's hierarchy. The atmosphere around the Celtic dressing room now appears tense in retrospect, with whispers that Hart's feelings of marginalization might have been felt long before his final match, indicating potential mismanagement or differing expectations between player and club that were never adequately addressed. Hart's comments have also sparked discussions beyond Scotland, drawing attention from the wider European football community, particularly in England where his career began and flourished. Analysts have pointed out that veteran goalkeepers often face abrupt transitions when clubs seek to promote younger talent, yet Hart's phrasing suggests a personal sense of betrayal rather than a standard career progression. There is a palpable sense of drama surrounding this revelation, with former colleagues hinting in interviews that Hart's experience at Celtic may have been more complex than the headlines suggest, possibly involving differences in coaching philosophy, team dynamics, or even contractual misunderstandings that culminated in his perception of being discarded. Social media campaigns have also begun to emerge, with fans of Celtic and general football enthusiasts expressing divided opinions, some defending the club's decisions while others criticize the lack of apparent recognition for Hart's years of service at a professional level. The narrative is compounded by Hart's status as an iconic figure in English football, a player whose achievements have set high expectations for how he should be treated, and whose critique now raises questions about whether clubs adequately honor players approaching retirement. Furthermore, there is speculation that Hart's forthrightness may inspire other professionals who feel similarly sidelined, potentially triggering a wider conversation about player welfare, club loyalty, and transparency in professional sports management. This unfolding story has all the ingredients of a classic football scandal: an admired player, a high-profile club, and allegations of neglect and disrespect that strike at the emotional heart of the sport. Speculation is rife regarding the exact circumstances leading to Hart's sharp criticism, with insiders hinting that the goalkeeper may have repeatedly attempted to communicate his expectations to Celtic's board, only to find his concerns dismissed or minimized. Sources close to the club suggest that while Hart performed admirably on the pitch, the management may have prioritized strategic shifts, youth development, or financial considerations over the personal rapport that Hart clearly expected. Fans, meanwhile, are dissecting every tweet, interview, and post-match comment, searching for clues that validate or refute Hart's perspective, with many arguing that the veteran's reputation alone warrants a more dignified farewell. Commentators on Scottish football shows are weighing the impact of Hart's statements on Celtic's image, considering whether this episode could influence future recruitment, especially among established players who might now fear a similarly abrupt exit. The emotional resonance of Hart's words has struck a chord with a generation of supporters who remember his stellar performances and dedication, leading to an intense mix of sympathy, outrage, and incredulity across forums, podcasts, and fan pages. As the story develops, it becomes increasingly clear that Hart's reflections are not merely a personal grievance, but could spark wider debate about respect, communication, and recognition in professional football, raising questions about the ethics of player treatment and the balance between performance and loyalty. Football circles in Scotland have also been buzzing with speculation that Hart's comments may influence internal club decisions, with some suggesting that senior staff might feel compelled to publicly respond to the accusations to mitigate reputational damage. The debate has taken on a life of its own, with pundits analyzing Celtic's historical treatment of high-profile players, comparing Hart's experience with that of other veterans who either retired in acclaim or quietly faded from public memory. Hart's forthrightness has drawn admiration from some quarters for its honesty, while critics argue that public criticism might burn bridges or overshadow his contributions, illustrating the delicate balance athletes must navigate between transparency and diplomacy. Meanwhile, supporters have flooded social media with graphics, quotes, and heated commentary, turning Hart's personal grievance into a public conversation about respect and appreciation in football. The atmosphere is reminiscent of other high-profile departures where emotions ran high, and speculation suggests that Hart's experience might prompt clubs to reconsider how they manage player exits, particularly those nearing the end of distinguished careers. Discussions in locker rooms, fan pubs, and online forums alike now revolve around the principle of valuing player contributions, raising broader questions about professional ethics, institutional respect, and the human side of competitive sport. As the dust settles, attention is turning to Hart himself, who appears resolute in his stance, emphasizing that his criticism stems from a desire for fairness and recognition rather than mere bitterness. There is a sense of defiance in his tone, a message that veteran players, regardless of club or country, should not be treated as disposable, particularly when they have dedicated years of service to the team and contributed to its successes. Sports psychologists and commentators have noted that transitions into retirement are often emotionally charged, especially when players feel their legacy has been undermined, and Hart's statements serve as a potent reminder of the personal challenges athletes face beyond the pitch. The story has prompted discussions across Europe about best practices for player management, with clubs being encouraged to consider structured support, clear communication, and recognition strategies to honor long-serving professionals. Meanwhile, fans of Celtic are divided between loyalty to the club and empathy for Hart, with debates spilling into podcasts, YouTube channels, and mainstream media coverage. This incident, which began as a personal reflection, has grown into a cultural conversation about dignity, respect, and transparency, highlighting that football is not just a game of goals and trophies, but also of human stories, emotions, and professional integrity. The implications of Hart's revelations extend beyond the immediate fallout, with some suggesting that this could influence how younger players perceive their career trajectories and treatment at clubs. The conversation about Hart's treatment at Celtic has inspired broader reflections on loyalty, expectations, and the often unseen emotional labor required of professional athletes, raising critical questions about how clubs communicate, manage, and respect their players. Observers have noted that Hart's candor may set a precedent for other players contemplating retirement, encouraging more open dialogue about grievances and professional fulfillment. In the meantime, social media continues to buzz with interpretations, memes, and debates, creating a digital echo chamber that amplifies the narrative while also introducing speculation and conjecture. Some fans worry about the long-term implications for Celtic's reputation, pondering whether future signings might be wary of joining a club perceived to treat veterans poorly, while others insist that the focus should remain on performance, results, and team cohesion. Ultimately, Joe Hart's comments have ignited a multi-layered discussion that touches on sport, emotion, ethics, and legacy, blending personal narrative with wider cultural critique. As journalists, pundits, and fans dissect every nuance, the story continues to evolve, promising further twists and reactions in the weeks and months to come, ensuring that Hart's legacy at Celtic remains a topic of conversation far beyond his final match. The aftermath of Joe Hart's candid remarks has left Celtic fans, sports journalists, and pundits alike in a whirlwind of speculation, with the football community trying to parse the exact motivations behind his words and the timing of their release. Some insiders suggest that Hart's decision to speak publicly may have been prompted by frustrations that had been simmering for months, possibly exacerbated by a lack of acknowledgement or ceremonial farewell from the club, which he clearly expected given his high-profile status. Meanwhile, rumors are circulating that certain members of Celtic's management may now be scrambling behind closed doors, debating whether to issue an official statement addressing Hart's grievances, with concerns that ignoring the controversy could further damage the club's public image. Social media has become a battleground, with heated exchanges between supporters who defend Hart's honesty and those who maintain that football is a business where players must accept organizational decisions without complaint. Analysts have also noted the potential ripple effect across Scottish football, speculating that other clubs might adopt more structured approaches to handling veteran player retirements to avoid similar public disputes. Beyond the immediate tension, Hart's statements are being examined as a broader critique of player welfare, loyalty, and respect in the professional game, highlighting how even celebrated players can feel marginalized despite years of service. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Speculation about the internal dynamics at Celtic has intensified, with whispers suggesting that Hart's criticism might reveal deeper issues within the club, particularly regarding communication between management and senior players. There are murmurs that Hart may have felt excluded from key discussions, including squad planning, tactical decisions, or even farewell protocols, which would explain the bitterness expressed in his comments. Commentators have pointed out that such perceived neglect is not uncommon in high-pressure football environments, where club priorities often emphasize performance metrics and youth development over individual sentiment. Meanwhile, former teammates have remained largely tight-lipped, fueling curiosity about whether Hart's portrayal of events aligns with the experiences of others in the dressing room. Fans, ever vigilant, have dissected every past match, transfer window, and board announcement for signs that might corroborate Hart's claims, turning the story into a detective-like investigation into Celtic's internal culture. The discussion has also spilled into the mainstream media, with some publications framing Hart's remarks as a cautionary tale for clubs across Europe, suggesting that failing to honor veterans properly can backfire publicly. Ultimately, the situation underscores a tension between business pragmatism and human appreciation in professional sports, leaving both Hart and Celtic at the center of a narrative that transcends mere match results. Rumors of a potential response from Celtic's hierarchy have grown louder, with some suggesting that the board may feel compelled to clarify their stance or even extend a symbolic gesture of recognition to Hart, possibly to quell public dissatisfaction and restore faith among supporters. Speculation abounds about what form such a response might take, whether a formal statement, retrospective honoring of his contributions, or even a private meeting designed to reconcile differences and protect the club's reputation. Meanwhile, Hart's revelation has invigorated discussions about contractual agreements, player treatment, and ethical considerations surrounding athlete retirement, raising questions about whether clubs routinely underestimate the emotional impact of career transitions. Sports analysts have suggested that Hart's forthrightness could inspire a ripple effect, motivating other veteran players to voice similar grievances, potentially reshaping the dialogue around loyalty, recognition, and the treatment of established athletes. Social media continues to act as both amplifier and battleground, with fans dissecting every word, replaying past matches, and speculating on the potential fallout for Celtic, especially regarding recruitment and public perception. As the story unfolds, it becomes increasingly clear that Hart's candid criticism is not just a personal grievance, but a catalyst for a wider cultural conversation about respect, communication, and the human side of football management in an increasingly commercialized environment. Amidst all the speculation, attention has also turned to Hart's own career trajectory and future plans, with rumors circulating about whether he might consider roles in coaching, punditry, or football administration following his retirement. Analysts have noted that Hart's visibility and outspokenness position him as a figure who could influence debates on player welfare and club culture, potentially leveraging his experience to advocate for improved treatment of professionals approaching the end of their playing days. Within fan communities, discussions have intensified about the ethics of club loyalty versus self-advocacy, with Hart's statement sparking passionate debates on whether players should publicly challenge perceived injustices or accept organizational decisions silently. Meanwhile, speculation about the impact on Celtic's image continues, with some arguing that the club must now proactively demonstrate its respect for players past and present to maintain credibility and attract talent. Social media campaigns, podcasts, and sports shows are dissecting Hart's narrative, often framing it as a cautionary tale for clubs that undervalue veterans, while others celebrate his courage in speaking out. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.